All right, so joining us now with more to provide some insight on what's happening, Dr. Lee Hanna, Assistant Professor of Political Science at Wright State University. Let's start with just the basics. What is the exact charge here, and why could it be so problematic?
Yeah, so there have been a few events that have happened in the last couple of days that have been kind of classified as bombshells, but the one that seems to at least resonate the most amongst Republicans was this memo from Comey, which suggests that President Trump might have pressured him to quit investigating Michael Flynn after he was let go. And that's where the GOP is now, you see some leaders backing off in ways that they haven't with some previous scandals where they've kind of weathered the storm.
So they're saying that the charge would be obstruction of justice.
Exactly, yes,
perhaps.
yes.
Okay. And again, it's a big if.
Yeah, there's still
They want to see the
an
memos.
if.
They want to talk to Comey. That's what you kept hearing from a lot of the Republicans and Democrats, too. Let's get the facts out about what's happening here.
Definitely.
But also in that piece, you heard a lot more people now calling, in light of all the recent developments that you referenced, calling for perhaps saying it is time for an independent investigation into Russia's meddling in the 2016 election. Can you truly get an independent investigation? What does that look like? What does that mean?
Yes, so the independent investigation can come from a number of sources. It can be born out of Congress, where special committees could be formed to then nominate and vote on a special prosecutor. These tend to be respected judges, respected attorneys. Often they pull people out of retirement in this way, and certainly there would be a lot of debate over just to what extent that judge is independent. So they look at their track record of who maybe they've worked for in Washington or who appointed them to certain positions. But that would be one route to go, and then the other route would be through the Attorney General's office, but that's been a bit tricky because the Attorney General has recused himself from some of this Russian investigation, at least.
Some Democrats brought up the impeachment word today, and again, a lot of Republicans saying, let's step back, let's wait, let the facts come to light. How generally, historically, do these things play out? What's the time frame? What happens next? Then what happens?
Yes, that's an excellent question. So we've only had two actual impeachment trials. Both presidents were exonerated. Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton were, impeachment charges were brought up in the House, but the Senate voted them down. Most people think that had Richard Nixon not resigned, he would have been both tried and convicted by the House and the Senate. I still think we're a long way off. To me, the strongest signal is not what MSNBC or Fox News is saying. It's really what are leaders in the Republican Party doing, because it's really up to them. The way impeachment works, it is very much a political process, and as long as they have strong numbers and feel like they can ride out some of these scandals, they'll keep going. I think what makes this different is that they don't know just how many of these memos could be coming out, and now it feels like the bad news is kind of picking up out of the White House, and so to what extent they want to keep riding that out versus start thinking about their own political careers and futures, that's what we're still waiting on.
Facts, 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 like that one lawmaker said. And that sentiment. Dr. Lee Hanna, Wright State University, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Mark.